Okay, welcome, Rake Makers. That's my son. Saturday morning, Dad's at work, and network marketers get to do this with anyone and everyone around from any place. So, welcome, team. I am so excited to have Eric on from Teamzy. A lot of you have dipped your toes into this amazing customer database that does everything. We've all been looking for something like this. We knew that Teamzy had it for other companies, but didn't quite have Xyngular on the map. And apparently we made some waves and got in there. So we're super excited. Eric, you've been in network marketing, I believe, and you'll probably share your brief story with us a little bit, but you can definitely tell through using this system that he gets it. He knows exactly what we need, and he has built a system that literally is changing papers and notebooks and Excel sheets and Google Docs and all of it into one spot. And it is just so phenomenal. So Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you. And again, thank you so much. Super gracious for you taking time out on Saturday.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. I really appreciate the introduction, and I am excited to be with you all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I know a lot of you are already using Teamzy, some of you at different stages. So I'm going to take you through the process, show you how quick and easy it is to set up, and then we'll do a power hour together. I'll show you the workflows. I may drop a little coaching here and there and things, how you can really leverage it. And we'll do a full Q&A at the end. If anyone wants to hang on and ask questions, I'll hang out and answer them. But before I dive into that, I also want to teach you a little bit about relationship marketing, which is the system and philosophy behind Teamzy. Teamzy is not just a software system. It's actually an approach. Long before we had the software, we were teaching this system to people, right? It was just a lot more work. So I want you guys to understand some of that, and I think you'll connect to it. What I've learned about the Xyngular community is that there is a connection at the heart level between what you're doing and what Teamzy is doing. So I want to kind of take you through some of that a little, and that will help you really understand and leverage the software platform. So let's dive in real quick to this first, which is just a quick presentation on how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. I know there's a lot of stuff there, right? Because it's not just about doing the right things. It's about having a system that's watertight and being efficient enough you can complete it in less than an hour so that you can live your life. Does this make sense? Okay, so let's just a little bit about my story. I know most of you haven't met me. As Stephanie said, my name's Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. My background's actually not direct sales. My background is in coaching and consulting. I've been a professional business coach and consultant for 19 years. And what I specialize in is helping people build a business based on authentic relationships. I fell into direct sales 5 years ago by accident. Honestly, I found some products that were life-changing for me. How many of you guys, that's why you're here? And I was excited about what was happening for me. I ended up losing 60 pounds in just several months and regaining my health. It was a completely life-changing thing to regain your health, as you guys can understand. And I was excited about it and just sharing naturally. I wasn't really looking at the business opportunity. I was very skeptical actually of network marketing. How many of you guys were network marketing skeptics? That was me too. But you see, here's a shot of my family. I've been blessed to have the most amazing family ever. The challenge that I was facing was that though I was successful in my career, I felt like I was never seeing my family or spending time with them. I was with my kids in the morning. When I left for work, they were in their pajamas. And they were just getting out of bed. I would say goodbye and go to work. When I came home in the evening, they were back in their pajamas, ready for bed. And I thought about it and I thought, they're going to be adults before I ever see them in regular clothes. And that's not what I wanted. That's not what I planned. I never had really much time to spend with my wife. I just felt like life was passing me by. Yeah, I had a career and I had success and we had a good income, but I wanted something more. The other thing that was happening was, we had gone through the recession. How many of you guys, somebody in your family lost their job during the recession, the Great Recession, 2008, 2009? That happened to me. I was laid off. It was my dream job. I had a glowing employee review, and then I was laid off the next day. and it was brutal. And that layoff kind of shocked me into realizing that I didn't have job security. It didn't matter if I was great at what I did. And so I was just really nervous. We were kind of stuck financially. We weren't able to get ahead financially. I live in Southern California. Stephanie, you do too, right? So it's expensive here. We'd outgrown our home. I was like, there was no way. We were $100,000 upside down on our mortgage during the recession. And so it was just kind of a tough time. So I took another look at that opportunity in direct sales. And I thought, you know what? If I could make this happen on the side, this could be the answer. This could give me the time freedom to be with my family. It could give me some financial flexibility so that I don't have to work so much, right? And so I took a look at it. The problem was I didn't know when the heck I would work on this business. Can anyone relate to that? I mean, when? I already didn't have any time. And so I got really disciplined with my calendar, looked at it, and I thought, if I could squeeze 1 hour a day into this business, maybe if I could make it successful in 1 hour a day, I'll do it. So I started looking for tools to help me leverage my time. Remember, I'm a professional business coach, so I knew exactly what to do. And here's what I found: nothing, right? Nothing. So long story short, we built Teamzy because that was exactly what I needed, was a way to do all the right things in a concentrated amount of time without wasting time, being efficient, so that I could go on with my life and I could build my business. And then I found soon after that other people wanted the same thing. So that's kind of how Teamzy came to be, just to kind of give you guys the Teamzy history. And we've now been 4 years on the market. I know we're new to Xyngular, but we've been serving this industry for 4 years. We've had more than 100,000 network marketers use Teamzy, which is mind-blowing to me because it just moves so quickly by word of mouth. We had, 3 weeks ago, we had 7 people in Xyngular using Teamzy, and now we have, 1,500. 3 weeks. And that's how it works, you guys. It just works like that. It's just like Teamzy just has spread as people have shared it, which is so humbling and amazing to me. I want you guys to understand the kind of results people are getting with Teamzy. I know some of you are just trying it out. You just need to understand this. People who are using Teamzy actively, they're averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. Okay? They're averaging 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90 days. You guys can write that one down because that statistic has stayed strong for 3 years now. Okay. How many of you wouldn't mind being average? Yeah, that's not bad. Think about what that would look like over 4 quarters. And I always do. I think it's only realistic to measure results over 90 days because, this business, it takes a while to warm up relationships, right? It takes a while to follow up with people. So that's why we always do 90 days. All right, so let's jump back into this topic. I just wanted to give you a little background there. What is relationship marketing? This is a term that now has suddenly become popular. It's kind of like what happened with coaching 10 years ago. Everyone was a coach. What does it mean? A lot of people think relationship marketing just means selling stuff to your friends, right? A lot of the jaded old school trainers in our industry think that it means leveraging a relationship to get a sale. I want you guys to understand something. This is really important. You need to get this or you won't get me at all in this training. Relationship marketing, first off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It puts the people ahead of the sale. Why do people hate direct sales? Because they feel like it puts a sale ahead of their relationship, right? We're flipping that on its head. I also want you to know it's not an abstract feel-good concept. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. How cool would it be just to know what to do next? How comforting would it be to bring new people onto the team and let them know we know what to do next? You just do this. Okay. Also, relationship marketing is a lead generation system. A lead generation system. That's a system that initiates consumer interest or inquiry into the products or services of a business. In other words, this is a way to bring business into your business. Okay? And as a business owner, you have to decide which lead generation system will you use, right? Also, I want you to understand this principle. You're in the lead generation business. Your business is not marketing the great products that Xyngular has. Because until you've generated that interest or that inquiry, nobody's interested in your product. Your job as business owner is to develop the leads. That's why you need a system like I'm going to show you. Okay. Okay, next principle. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. It's not sales, it's not recruiting, it's developing relationships. Okay? So when I say you're generating leads, I mean you're building new relationships. You're meeting people, not necessarily that are interested in Xyngular, just that are interested in having a relationship with you. This is the key difference, you guys. We're not looking for people who just want to buy or join. We're looking for people who want to have a relationship with you. And then once you can focus on that, your business will grow, because what we do with relationships is we turn them into our advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. We turn our relationships into advocates. An advocate is a walking, talking billboard for you and your business. Guys, you need to understand something. You know people who will never purchase your products or join your team, who will be your advocates, who will bring other people to your business. Does this make sense? And so our industry is teaching you to go for no and to throw away people who say no like dead bodies. And I'm telling you that people who say no will bring people to you when they understand your mission and your passion. Does it make sense? Okay. Next principle, relationship marketing depends on trust. Relationship marketing depends on trust. I like to say, in other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't gonna work, okay? You cannot do stuff that's disingenuous with this approach and have anything work for you. Because if you violate trust, it's all over. Now, how many of you would prefer to work on a business based on trust and integrity anyways? Okay, you guys are in the right place. But all of the things that we've been taught to intrigue people, to catch their interest, all the things that feel a little bit tricky to you, don't do that stuff. That violates trust. You don't have to do that stuff. Okay? Genuine interest comes from sharing our passion, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit. Here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. When people trust you, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You don't have to go through all that stuff. They trust you. You can get right to helping them, right? Also, it takes away the ickiness. How many of you, like me, are paranoid of being seen as the icky salesperson? That's me too. I mean, in fact, sometimes the fear of being seen as icky is so strong that we actually we don't help people because we're worried about being thought that way. So I want you guys to understand, as we build trust, the ickiness is gone. This is just not there because people trust you. Even a little bit of trust will take away the ickiness, okay? And again, you get to go for yes. Instead of going for no, you focus on yeses, okay? And you understand that not everyone's gonna say yes on day one because you haven't built trust yet. Okay, so how do you build trust? No matter what, you're going to leave today with some things you can put into action in your business. And I'm going to teach you the 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Really, I'll go through them quickly, then I'll break them out for you guys. But here they are. The 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Number 1 is chemistry. Okay, chemistry. Number 2 is character. Okay, character. Number 3 is competence. Okay, number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Some of you guys are surprised right now. You thought you were just going to be listening to a tech nerd show you how to use the software. That's not how Teamzy rolls. Okay, so let's go through these. Chemistry. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? We need to develop chemistry with our relationships. Find out what we have in common. I used to work with a guy back in my corporate career days. He was the facilities manager. How many of you guys have worked in a corporate environment and you know what I'm talking about? The guy who takes care of all the buildings, and he's the guy everybody knows. This guy, his name was Marty. He believed that he could find out what he had in common with you with 3 questions. And no matter where he went, he would ask, when he met somebody, he'd ask them 3 questions and find out who they knew in common. Or he did it in other countries, everywhere. He found people he went on a vacation to Brazil and he met a waiter. He found out they had a cousin in common. Like, he just would find out. And this is what I want you guys to think about when you're meeting people. Find the common ground. What about you can people relate to? Find out what you have in common so you can build some chemistry. And the other flip side of this, I shouldn't have to say this because you're grown-ups, but I'm going to say it because we live in a very divisive world right now, don't we? Don't do things that separate people from you. Don't divide your audience. Find out what you have in common with them. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Okay, character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you are relatable. How many of you guys think that you have great character? It's good. I hope so. But here's what I want you guys to understand. You don't actually have character. Character is something you must do on a daily basis. Does this make sense? And your character is your brand, right? Don't you guys want to do business with companies and people of character? So you need to be demonstrating your character. It's not about, did you pay your taxes or whatever? It's about demonstrating care for other people. Everything that you do, the way you take care of your customers, the way you communicate on social media, is it about you or is it about them? The way you drive your car on the highway. I mean, you need to be demonstrating character everywhere you go. Does this make sense? And just be aware that 24/7, you're building your brand through the character and the care that you demonstrate. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay, there's 2 pieces to it. It's when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. So first off, can you help me? If you met me 5 years ago, 60 pounds overweight, are you competent enough with Xyngular programs to help me? How many of you guys feel like you are? So I need to know before I become your customer, do you know what you're talking about? Can you help me with my problem? The next piece of the puzzle I need to know is, wow, this is amazing. Now I'm thinking about the business. Do I trust you to mentor me in this business? Do I believe you're a business person that I could follow? In our business, those are the 2 things we need to be demonstrating. So real quick on this. Some of you are newer, I'm guessing. So you may not have the same level of competence as your upline in either arena, right? So a lot of trainers will tell you this, and how many of you guys have heard this? Just fake it till you make it. Have you guys heard this? Okay, so forget that. Never fake it. Never fake it, because that's disingenuous. This whole system falls apart if you do anything disingenuous. What you need to do is tell people about the journey you're on of learning. I've just learned this. Did you guys know that being hydrated is really important to weight loss? Did you guys know that? I just learned this. You share your journey of knowledge. Does it make sense? And you lean into the competence of your upline. You let people know, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about who's on my team. They're so knowledgeable. I could introduce you. We could get on a call together. Does this make sense? So you lean into the competence, you sell the competence of your team until you have it yourself, and you get on a mission to build your own competence. And look, this is kind of like a pull yourself up by the bootstraps kind of industry. I mean, you've got support, but it's still up to you. You need to ask. Teach me this. What about this? I have a question about this. How does this comp plan work? It's so confusing. Can you explain it to me? Are you guys with me? Get after it. Get after getting competence. And in the meantime, tell people about your amazing team. Okay, next principle. People only really care about 3 things when they're going to do business with you. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? You can see where I'm getting some of my content from, these principles. What you guys need to understand is when somebody is going to do business with you, these questions are in their heart. They may not articulate these questions, but they're on their hearts. If they feel good about these 3 questions, you've got somebody who is ready to rock and roll. They're going to be an advocate for you. When you're in the process of building trust, these questions come up, and it's up to you to overcome objections and help them through it and continue investing in the relationship. Make sense? Okay. Number 4 is consistency. Consistency. Again, here's another principle I love. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. If you want me to trust you, you got to be consistent. That makes sense, right? How many of you are consistent products of your own product? You guys take your products and you live the lifestyle. Let me see your hands. Okay, good. Do other people know that you are too? It's important, right? Because I'm not going to trust you if you're not a product of your product. The second piece is, are you sharing your story? Are you sharing on social media? Are you living this life out loud so people see you consistently sharing what you're doing? Are you sharing the journey? How many of you guys are doing that? You post regularly on social and share. Okay, that's good. That's good. These are important, right? You got to be consistent. Here's the real checkup from the neck up, as Zig Ziglar used to say. are you as consistent with your relationships? Are you as consistent with your relationships? How many of you guys wish you were more consistent with relationships, staying in touch, connecting with people? That's why we're here talking to me, right? This is why it's so important. I want you guys to understand that relationship building is a contact sport. The only way to build relationships is being in regular contact with people. Okay? Being in regular contact with people. I know your time is scarce. That's why we built Teamzy. So I want you guys to understand, don't worry about time being scarce. We're specialists at that. But if you want a business and you want relationships, you got to connect with people. Here's the principle. And this is the big principle of the day. And we're real close to actually showing you Teamzy. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay, just really quick. I want to see your faces. So if your camera's off, just pop it on real quick. How many of you, as long as you're dressed? I was on a Zoom training once, and it was just totally great, normal like this. And somebody's husband had just gotten out of the shower and didn't realize that his wife was on the laptop and just butt naked walked through the screen. And I stopped talking to everybody, just stared at the screen for a second, and then we just kept going with the training. So warn your spouses, you're on a call with me. Okay, so really quick, how many of you have ever received, yesterday was Valentine's Day. Maybe it was yesterday. How many of you have ever received a great card or letter from somebody that you love that had a handwritten message in it? And when you got that message, it was just like, oh my gosh, just so touching. Everyone? Okay, hopefully. If you have never received one of those, please, in the chat, put your address. We're gonna all write you a card, okay? So what did you do with it? How many of you still have it? You keep those. You've got a special stash somewhere of all the special cards you've received. How many? Let me see hands for those of you guys who can't part with them. And then you move into a new home, and you've got this big box of cards and letters, and you think, I can't part with these. These move with me, right? We all do this, by the way. In fact, a lot of times when somebody special to us passes on, what we treasure most are the cards and letters that they've kept, don't we? Now, another question for you. How many of you have ever received one of these? This is a happy birthday postcard. I actually got this one from my life insurance sales representative. You get one of these? Like from the dentist, or you just on their list, right? This says happy birthday, and on the other side it says, wishing you the best. Here's to another great year of you. Doesn't even have my name on it. Question, do you guys keep these? How many of you have saved these in a special place? Do you think after I'm gone, my children will use this as the bookmark in their Bible? Probably not. Well, I say a lot, that's very commonly done, by the way, is that people keep a letter from someone who's passed in their Bible, right? They won't keep this. This has no value, does it? Now let's talk about why this has no value. The principle I just taught you, that if you want to deepen a relationship, you have to invest time and connect. This required no investment of time. It's an automated bulk mailing, right? So we don't value it. He took no time for him to do, so it has no value to me. The other thing is, it's not a personal connection. This is a generic mail out. So the two things that he needed to do to actually deepen the relationship, this failed to do. It was not personal, and it required no time. So we don't value it. We look at it and we toss it. I'm telling you guys this example because I want you to understand the most important activities for you to build a business are those: connecting with people and investing some time. Not a lot of time. And Teamzy is designed, by the way, to help you connect with somebody with a minimal amount of time invested. But it's still more time than other people are putting into the relationships. And it's still enough to make somebody's day. Does this make sense? But it's so important because if you've been in the business more than 5 minutes, you've already seen somebody pitch to you marketing automation. And it sounds so sexy and inviting. But automated marketing is this: no connection, no personal, no time, no value. Are you guys with me? Okay. All right. My wife tells me that I like to make the point until it's fully made and dead. And so I do that. Okay. What can you say? All right. So that's the principle. Investing time, connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Am I resonating with you guys so far? Yes, good. You're my people. That's good. But here's the thing. It's not just enough to have the right philosophy and the right heart for this business. You need a system. You got to have a system to follow. Okay. Without a system, it's like drinking water with your hands. Have you guys ever tried to do that? You can quench your thirst, but you're going to waste a lot of water, right? So a system to stay in contact with all of our relationships, everybody, the ones that are close to us and the ones we barely know, to be in contact with all of them, know when we're going to contact people and when we're not. In other words, I don't want you to spend 3 hours planning so that you can do a half hour of connecting. How many of you guys have lived through that? Looking at your clipboard going, who should I connect with today? No, you need a system that just says, this is who's up next. Know what you're going to say to them so that you can make their day without spending all day staring at your screen going, oh my gosh, what do I say? Right? Overthinking. And make sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. Okay? Make sure that nobody ever falls through the cracks. You cannot do these things without a system. So good for you. Good. You're in the right place because we actually have the system here before us. It's Teamzy. You guys know this. Okay, so how many of you guys are already using Teamzy at some level? Okay, great. So a couple things I just want you to know at the get-go is that Teamzy, there's a free trial. You can get it for free for 30 days. You go to teamzy.com, click Start Trial, select Xyngular, and it's a custom version just for you guys, and start using it, okay? When you first log into Teamzy for the first time, it's gonna take you into the setup wizard. This is designed to make setting this up easy. You know, most people in our business don't use CRM software because it's so complicated. We've tried to make this incredibly simple. So look, what you're looking at on the screen is the setup wizard in Teamzy. You just follow the steps. Okay, there's a little video from me. We'll skip that. If you want to get Facebook messages from us, you can click there. And the next thing we're going to do is set an income goal. Okay, set an income goal. How much money would you like to be earning a year from now? Now, I want you guys to stretch a little bit. Stretch a little bit. Okay, now look, my goal was 150,000. You can slide this little ball up and down. And what I want you to notice is in these circles is the activity we need to do each day to hit the goal. So as you move that, Teamzy changes your goal for you. So you actually know exactly what to do to get to your goal. So at 150,000, which was my goal, I'm going to connect with 9 prospects each day. And that's 5 days a week, by the way, 6 customers and 4 of the distributors on my team. So I'm going to connect with 19 people each day in my Teamzy Power Hour. Okay. Let's click continue. So now it's set my Teamzy up to those goals in the background. The next step is to get all my contacts into Teamzy. Okay, like Stephanie said, in one place, organized. No more pads of paper, sticky notes. Oh my gosh, Google Sheets. I don't know what you guys are trying to do to keep yourself organized. Writing in a day planner. Whatever you've been trying to do to stay organized all this time, scrolling through your phone. How many of you guys would look through Facebook Messenger and go, who did I message last month? You know, it's just a disaster. This will put everything in one place, organized. Okay, you're going to get your team in there. You're going to get your customers in there. You're going to get all your Facebook friends in there, all your contacts in one place, organized. Okay, it lives in the cloud so that it's always in your pocket in your smartphone. You can get to it at any time. Pretty cool. All right, so now we've got, once we get everything in there, you can launch this. Now, I kind of skipped over it, but there's videos and tutorials with step-by-step on how to do each one of those things. So I don't want you guys to get freaked out by that. We kind of hold your hand all the way through it, so don't worry. Okay, so now that we've got our Teamzy set up, let me just show you a couple things here. This is the dashboard, if you haven't seen it, okay? So there's a search bar, so you can look anybody up, any contact information you need, you can just look it up and go to it, all right? If you need to add more people after you got started, you just click this add contact. It's on the top of every page. You just add people, okay? You can do a bulk list there, super easy. Down here on today's activities, these are the goals that we set and set up. So my goal is to connect with 9 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors today. It's just my today's goals, okay? Because how many days do you have to work on your business? Just one, just today, right? Teamzy just shows me what to do today. Keeps my focus small so I can grow my business big. So those are my daily goals. And when I say connect with prospects, customers, and distributors, I'm not trying to sell or trying to recruit or trying to, as I call it, throw up my business on them. How many of you guys feel that way sometimes? What I'm trying to do is just make their day. I want you to live in the make someone's day mindset. Okay, that's one of our hashtags at Teamzy. Hashtag make someone's day mindset. All we're going to do is message them to make their day. That's it. By connecting with people and making their day, you bring a little brightness to their life, and often it gives you an opportunity to have a conversation. And a conversation is where we get a chance to really talk to somebody in a natural way without being spammy or salesy, okay? All right, now I've also got 2 other goals I wanna show you. I've got a goal to share 3 times, 3 shares. What's a share? A share is where I actually share my products with somebody. I tell them about a product solution that might help them, or I'm sharing my business opportunity with somebody. Shares, I've only got a goal to share 3 times a day after 19 connects. Why is it so few? Because I don't just shove it down people's throat until they express some interest, right? And I'll kind of give you guys an example of how to do that today in our demo. And the last goal is ads. This is just putting new people in Teamzy. I've got a goal to add a few people to my Teamzy every day. Remember, in this business, the success is adding relationships, not necessarily sales. If your focus is on building the relationships, the sales are a result, right? Would you guys say weight loss is a result of good nutrition? Yes. And building this business is a result of good relationships. It's the same concept. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do a power hour. So right down here, the next piece I want to show you is the power hour module. Now remember, Teamzy is a full contact manager, which means if I go to the team page, you've got all your contacts are here. Everybody's here. You can click on them. You can see all their contact information. You can see a record of all your conversations with them, all of that. But the dashboard is designed so that you can do a power hour super quickly and efficiently without having to think or plan. Okay, so what Teamzy does is it takes the whole list. Let's see, in my sample account here, I've got 1,000 contacts here. I don't have to think about it. Teamzy tells me who's up next, and it cycles through my contacts. Okay, it does it based on a real simple algorithm, which lets you prioritize your relationships on a 5-star scale. You guys used to starring things on a 5-star scale? So you're going to prioritize your relationships on a 5-star scale. See how people have little numbers next to their names? That's how many stars this relationship has. Okay. And on the team page, it's really easy. You can go down your whole list actually and rank it. When you're first setting up, you go into rank mode and you can actually go down the whole list and just, as you click people, it changes their rank. Okay. Super easy. You see somebody you don't want, you can drop them in the trash can. And this is important because the way this works is in Teamzy is it creates your list like this every day. Your 5-star people come first. You're going to connect with them first. 5-star people are like your best friends, your closest relationships, the people you think are your hottest prospects. They're going to show up first. And then they come back automatically every 30 days. You stay in closer contact with your best relationships. 4-star people are going to show up after the 5-star people, and they come back every 60 days. Okay, so those are probably like warm leads, the people on your team that are like, you know, good performers, the people you want to stay in touch with that you feel are warm, your friends and family, maybe not your closest circle, like those people you're going to be connecting with every 2 months. 3-star people could go either way. You don't know yet. They come up third after the 5s and the 4s on your list automatically, and then they cycle back every 90 days. You don't have to set a follow-up or even remember. You send your message and they come back. Okay, and you'll be in touch with them 4 times a year so you can build that relationship with them. And then 2 stars are coming down to 120 days before they cycle back. Does this make sense? But once you put them in Teamzy, you know they're not going to fall through the cracks. They're going to cycle back through your power hour. Are you guys with me? So let me show you how this works. Here's my power hour based on my goals up here. I've got zeros, so we're going to do some work. First person on my list is Jay. I'm going to message Jay. And remember, my goal is just to make her day. Now, how many of you guys struggle with the messaging? What do I say? So when we launched Teamzy 4 years ago, the number one thing people asked me for was, what do I say? So I put a scripts library in Teamzy for you. It's there for you. Even in a free trial, it's there for you guys. And this isn't a scripts library full of the cheesy sales scripts that used to make me want to gag. No offense. How many of you guys are like that though? When you see those coming in, you're like, oh, here comes another one. I mean, they come into you and you're like, ugh, and then it's your turn to send them out and you send them out. No way, right? So look, I'm just gonna give you an example. We're gonna go to scripts right here. See where it says scripts? You click on that. I'm gonna message her on Facebook, so I'll click on Facebook to get a script. I'll take the first one off the list, connect number 1. Here's how it reads. It says, hi Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day's awesome. Super simple, okay, super simple. So I'm gonna copy that script, and what I'll do is I'm gonna paste it in Teamzy so I can do some editing. Maybe you don't use the word awesome every other word like I do. I'm a Southern California guy. What do you want? Okay. I know all of our UK clients are like, we don't use the word awesome. I'm like, well, you could use the word like not, you could just say, I hope your day's not dreary if you want to go very UK on it. Okay. All right. So look, I'm changing the correct name. I like the way this is worded, so I'm going to keep it. But just notice a couple of things. I got to put some emojis on here. A couple of things about the structure of this simple connect message, you guys. It's got a greeting. It's letting her know you're just stopping by to say hello. What does that mean? I'm not here to shove Xyngular down your throat. So we can actually talk. You don't have to run for the hills. How you doing? Right? And I hope you're having a great day. It's just, hope you're awesome. It's just a way to make her day. Like, oh, that was so nice. Are you guys with me? So look, I've got this just the way I want it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and go send it to her in Facebook. I do the extra step of doing it in Teamzy first so I don't send the wrong name. I've done it a bunch of times. So I've got Facebook open right here. I'm going to send this message to her. Hold on. Let me just close these other messages real quick so we don't get distracted. There she is. I'm just going to look her up and we're going to send her this message. Here we go. Boom. Send. So easy, right? So what I do is I'm going to toggle back to Teamzy and finish logging that. What kind of activity was it? This one was a Facebook message. And the big blue button to log the connect. So it's done. See, it says connect log. And right here, I've got a 1 done, 8 left. And see this little blue circle starting to fill in? That is my visual cue that I'm making progress. So the next person on my list is Stephanie. I'm going to use the same script. It's already on my clipboard and just paste it in there and just change the name. Okay. And I'm just going to copy that and I'm just going to go send it to her. There she is. I know a lot of Stephanies, don't I? There she is. Great. We're going to send this message. Bam. Done. Sent. So I log it. I go to the next one. Kathy. So see how this is filling in? So my goal was 9. Yours might be 5. No matter what your goal is, when you hit that goal of sending the message, that circle will be all the way blue. And then you can go to the next list, which in this case is customers. Okay, so look, just a pro tip. Some people will respond immediately. Don't run off and talk to them right now. Get all the outgoing messages done so you don't get sidetracked, okay? So just stay focused, get all the outgoing messages done, and then you can come back and have conversations. So my next goal is to connect with customers. You want to approach customers the same way. You don't need to talk to them about the products or the sale or the promotion. I mean, you can do those things, but I'm just telling you, you just need to be in contact with people. Okay. So Clifford comes up and I'm going to check in with him, get a script. Now, Teamzy's already switched the scripts list to customer scripts. Kind of cool. So it's not the same ones. Here's a great one. You're doing so great. I'm proud of you. Congratulations on. So maybe Clifford just posted that he lost 10 pounds. Would that be a cool thing to congratulate him on? Right? You're doing so great. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on losing 10 pounds. You don't even have to mention your product, but what is it that he knows is helping him? Are you guys with me? So look, I'll go send him that. You get the idea. I misspelled his name, but we're not going to really send it to him. Another customer one might be this one. I'll just show you one more script, my favorite script. Hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Have any of you sent this one to a customer? So a little side challenge, send this particular script to like your 3 favorite customers today, just to see what the response is. Usually the response is, oh my gosh, you just made my day with that message. Is that a good connect with a customer? Yeah. Now look, I just want to talk to you guys real quick about this. So what you're going to do in your power hour is, my goal is 6 customers. I'm just going to send a quick message to the next 6 customers on my list. One thing I want you guys to understand is, how many of you guys have customers that are canceled or inactive? Those, treat them as if they're active customers. Stay in touch with them. Okay. Because when you're in a business that sells products like you guys sell, where they could have too much on the shelf, they cancel, but they don't consider themselves canceled. They just don't need an order right now. Does this make sense? So you stay in touch with them. Stay in touch with them. They will come back. And I will tell you this, a little side note. When it's the 29th or 30th of the month and you're trying to hit your qualifications, at least in my experience, it was almost always canceled customers who came through with the orders. They re-engage. Okay. So here's the thing. That was a little extra. I want to talk to you about what happens when you're in regular contact with customers. How many of you wish you were a little better at staying in contact with customers? Great. You've got it on a silver platter. Teamzy, it's right in front of you. Go do it. But here's what happens when you're consistently in contact with customers. Just want you guys to understand this. This is a statistical fact. They will order more product and they will retain longer. Your customers will order more product and they will retain longer. We, at Teamzy, we tell corporate, we haven't talked to corporate as Xyngular yet, that we're open to that conversation, just so you guys know, because I know you guys are connected. We tell them we can increase your sales volume by 20% in 3 months. Why? How do we know this is true? Because we know that when the representatives are in regular contact with customers, sales volume goes up, retention goes up. It's just a statistical fact. It's like when you go to an amazing restaurant. How many of you have been to an amazing restaurant with great service? The server is regularly checking in with you, aren't they? And you tend to order more and you have a great time doing it. It's better service. You're spending more. Everybody's happy. This is why being in touch with customers is so important, and not just the official stuff like your shipment is coming out on the 3rd. Would you like to add to your order? No, just like, hey man, how's it going? How are you enjoying the product? Are you with me? Okay. You could still schedule it so that it's right before the shipment if you want. I'm just saying, be more personal. The other thing that happens is this, and I know I'm kind of pushing the envelope on my time, but I really want to talk to you guys about this really quick. How many of you have at least one customer that you just love? Oh my gosh, I want more people like you in my business. Can you guys think of somebody like that? Where do you go find them? Where do you find people like that? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. Some of you are going to go, oh yeah, duh, I knew that. Everything I'm telling you, you already know. That's why you're liking it. I'm just bringing it back out and putting it in front of you, reminding you, right? Teaching is more about reminding than teaching. Okay, so here's the thing. The best place to find a great customer is from your great customer. There's no better place. I'm not going to give you an Instagram class that's better than talking to the people who already use your products, love them, and trust you. The question is, how do you get introduced to the people that they know? And that's the key word, introduced to, not referred to. Okay? Always get introduced. Don't ever ask somebody to tell their friends about you. That's like, I had a mentor that used to say, that's like throwing a handful of business cards out the window on the highway and hoping they land in the right people's lives, right? So I'm talking to my customers on a regular basis. I'm looking at Dawn. Dawn, I'm going to use my guinea pig since you were here nice and early today. Dawn's my customer and I'm talking to her and I'm in regular contact with her. It's totally natural when I message her now because we're in contact. I message her and I say, Dawn, I'm really proud of you. You're doing amazing. You're getting such great results. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm excited too. Are your customers excited when they're getting great results? What do excited people do? They talk to other people, don't they? So I know this. So I'm just going to say, Dawn, I'm so excited for you. You're doing amazing. She's like, I know, it's amazing. I said, listen, I know that you're telling people about Xyngular. I know you've been sharing your journey with your friends and family. And before I get too busy this month, is there anybody you care about that needs more information on these products? Because I want to make sure I take care of your people. And some of you are like, I need to rewind that when I get the recording and get that written down. My point is, it's very natural to get introduced. She goes, actually, yeah, I was talking to my friend Steph, my friend Kelly. Okay, perfect. Well, I tell you what, Dawn, could you do me a favor? Would you mind introducing me to them? Just whatever's easiest for you. A quick text message, group chat on Facebook, whatever. Just a quick intro, and I'll make sure we get them some more information. Take it from there. You guys cannot be getting in these introductions if you're not in regular contact with your customers. You will come across the way you don't want to, which is the cheesy salesperson. If you out of the blue ask for introductions to a customer that you haven't been investing in. Does it make sense? And so, so Dawn introduces me to her friends. I send them a message. I've got all this stuff, by the way, saved as my own scripts in Teamzy after I've done it a couple of times. How I would message them, boom, she gives me the names, boom, I answer, I send them the messages, great. They're interested in more information. Now I come back to Dawn and I say, Dawn, thank you for introducing me to your friends. They're both interested. I want you to know I'll take great care of them. Incidentally, have you ever thought, Dawn, of doing what I do, being being a representative of this amazing company? Because I tell you what, before I sign up your two friends, we could easily sign them up with you if you'd like to become a distributor too. And we can, that will at least subsidize what the products you're getting. And maybe we can talk more about building you a business. How many of you guys are on board with this conversation? This is also my favorite way to get distributors, is through asking them to introduce you to their friends so you can help them. It's all very natural. Are you guys with me? Step one, getting in your Teamzy and just being in regular contact with your customers. Don't make an overcomplicated follow-up system. Just put them in Teamzy, do use the 5-star system. When they show up on your dashboard, message them. Make sense? All right. The next group on my power hour are distributors. Okay. So prospects, then customers, then distributors. I'm going to message my team the same way. Make their day. Let them know I'm thinking about them. See if they need anything. How many of you guys have a team you're excited to be in touch this way with? Are there, some of you don't though, right? Some of you are new, and that's okay. You will have a team building the system. So if you're new and you don't have distributors, or you don't have many, or you don't have very many customers yet, that's okay. What I want you to know is that you can customize your dashboard where you can set those goals to 0 or really low and just add more to the prospects. Make sense? And you do that by clicking right here where it says edit daily goals. You can go in and change those numbers. So for those of you who don't have big numbers yet on the team, you can add those to prospects temporarily as you build your team. But the key here is that we want to be in touch with our team the same way we are with customers and prospects. I know that it's great to have a team page. Oh my gosh, it's great. It's great to have live Zoom calls, but people want to be connected to you. Now, just think about somebody upline from you that you really respect and admire. Maybe they don't even know they don't even know about you. Imagine how it would feel if you got a text every once in a while that just said, hey, I saw that you did this. You signed a new customer, congratulations, or I'm rooting for you, just something. Look, guess what? This is why we called this product Teamzy, because the focus is on building the team. And I want you guys to understand that this business, people being successful in this business are the ones who hang in there long enough to build some momentum. Now, I believe Teamzy can help you build momentum in the first 30 days, but what keeps people going in this business isn't 6-figure incomes. It's the connection to the other people on their team. It's the community that they've joined. How many of you guys just love the Xyngular community? Like, it's awesome. That's what connects people. So as leaders of your teams, it's important that you build one-on-one connections with your team members. Okay, Teamzy makes it easy. So prospects, customers, distributors, that's the first half of your power hour. My example, it took me a long time to explain it, but can you imagine that I could send those 19 messages in about 15 minutes? Just using scripts and zipping them out? Okay, let's say it takes you 30 minutes. That's fine because you're newer. Now we still have to do the second half of our power hour, which is our follow-ups list. Okay, follow-ups list. Now you notice there's nobody on the follow-ups list. The follow-ups list is not automatic in Teamzy. You're going to add people to this list when they've shown some interest and you've shared something with them. So remember, everybody cycles through Teamzy automatically. You'll be in touch with everybody without ever setting a follow-up. So we're going to put the people who are interested on the follow-ups list. Those are our leads, like for our business. Okay. So I'll just give you an example. I messaged Stephanie. She says, oh, it's great to hear from you, Eric. That's pretty much all that happens usually on that first message. I just want you guys to know, so you have a realistic expectation. It's not that often that she would go, oh, I'm so glad you messaged me. I've been noticing your posts about Xyngular lately, and I would like to place an order. Though that has happened to me, but it's not usual. Okay, she'll probably just say, oh, hi, Eric. Nice to hear from you. But she responded, right? And now I have a chance to have a conversation. So I'll try to engage her a little bit and see if I can have a conversation with her. And be like, yeah, well, I saw, just thought I'd say hi. What have you guys been up to? It's been forever. Can you send me an update? Update me on what you've been doing in the last 20 years since we last talked, whatever the case may be, okay? And so she sends me her update, tells me about her kids and her husband and the life that they've led and what they've been doing. And, and I'm engaging in questions and just trying to have a normal conversation, catch up. And so just picture yourself bumping into somebody in a grocery store, right? What kind of conversation might you have if you had 5 minutes? Just ask questions, just be interested. And as people give you their update, they're going to teach you a lot about what's going on in their life. So I want you to listen for things you can help with, okay? And if you've been active on social media, they may have an idea already about what you do, which is great. But here's what's going to happen. She tells me what's going on in her life. What would be the most natural thing for me to do then? Tell her what's going on in my life, right? So now I'm going to tell her what's going on in my life. Oh, well, my wife, my kids, this is what we're doing. I don't know if you know, and I'm going to tell her about my business too, because she told me about her work or her whatever she's doing. So I'm going to tell her about mine. I don't know if you know this, Steph, but I actually left my corporate job 5 years ago and started my own business. Oh, really? That's so cool. Yeah, it's kind of funny because it was an area I never thought I would be working in, but I found this company that helped me lose 60 pounds, and it was really life-changing. And then I got excited about sharing it with others, and I found I have a knack for helping other people get healthy and lose weight too. Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, it's been the most fulfilling thing I've ever done, and it's allowed me to be with my kids. It's allowed me to be home. It's allowed us to create more financial freedom for our family. It has been such an incredible blessing. Do you guys feel like that would be very natural and not spammy way to talk about your business? Now, that was my personal story. Now, it probably intersects with some of your stories just because it's such a similar product line, right? But whatever your story is, you need to tell it. Like, this is what's been happening for me. If you're brand new and maybe those things haven't happened, you could say, I started my own business and I'm really excited about it because I think it's a way that's going to help me to do these things, right? The point is you want to share, and this is the key. I want you guys to write this down. What you do and why you're passionate about it. Share what you do and why you're passionate about it. Did you notice I shared specifically that I've helped people lose weight and get healthy? I didn't say I just empower people to be their best selves. I only say that because I have a member of my current boot camp who she's like, I'm not getting any traction. I said, what are you telling people you do? She says that I empower women and help them be their best selves. I go, how in the world do you do that? Right? And just a little side note on this, I get passionate about this stuff and go off on tangents. Is it okay that I'm going off on tangents, guys? Are you getting value? Okay, good. So I just want to talk about this. If my job and my passion was being an electrician, do you think I would tell people that I solve energetic problems? Or would you say, I'm an electrician, so if you ever have problems with your electrical, call me? You tell people the problem you solve. And the reason I'm so passionate about being an electrician is, tell them. I love working for myself. I like the flexibility. I like that it's always new people I'm working with. I mean, people who are electricians have passion for what they do. So you need to tell people exactly what you do so they know exactly what you do. This is an important piece because they may not be interested, but they may know people who need the solution you provide. And this is how your business really picks up steam. How does my business have so many Xyngular customers right now? I haven't talked to you guys because a couple of people got a clear understanding of the problem we solve and they started sharing it. This will happen in your business too. You guys with me? What you do and why you're passionate about it. So I'm telling her this story and she's like, wow, that's really great. Usually when you share your passion, people are very encouraging. Good for you. That's really great. Oh, I'm excited for you. Now, depending on, I call it measuring the mo, like her motivation. Depending on how enthusiastic she is about what I'm telling her, I might just very simply say, hey, if you'd ever like to learn more about it, Stephanie, I'd be happy to take some time and show you the business opportunity or share some of these products with you. People always go, it's not that simple, Eric. It really is, you guys. You just have to be comfortable with this, right? And she says, oh, okay. Yeah, I might be interested in taking a look at that. Great. Perfect. I would pull out let's say I was in person, I would pull out my phone and go, let me just put you into my Teamzy so that I can make sure we can I can follow up with you. But great. So I tell you, which part are you most interested in learning about? Well, I'd like to just kind of see the business model because I love the idea I would love the idea of having that flexibility like you have. Okay, great. I tell you what we could do. Probably the easiest thing is maybe just set up a phone call and I'll invite my upline who's really knowledgeable on this. And we can just have a conversation and kind of explain to you and you can ask us questions. How's that sound? She says, that sounds great. Okay, perfect. So this is just an example, right? Are you guys with me though? Let's say I scheduled her on a 3-way call so we could talk about the business based on these initial conversations. How would I do that in Teamzy? Let me just show you real quick. First off, she's not on my dashboard anymore because I connected with her and she's back in this Teamzy cycle, right? So what I would do is look her up in the lookup bar. Okay, now it would bring me to her contact record. And then right here, I can open up the connect box just like on the dashboard. But this time, and well, let me put it what it is. Let's say it's a 3-way call and we're having the 3-way call. It's great. I'm putting my notes from the call on here and I'm going to log that we had this call in Teamzy. Notice right here on the bottom left where it says share. I'm going to click that and I'm just going to click that we shared the business opportunity on this call. So when I do that, it's now logging this connect as a share on my dashboard. Remember, my goal is to do this 3 times a day. So in this case, I've now shared and it activated my follow-up system. See, it activated that. See that little thing right there? So when I open this, I can change this though to any date in the future. It just defaults to 2 days from now. But let's say I want to follow up tomorrow, because I always follow up tomorrow, just so you know. I recommend that, especially if you've had a great conversation. So we're talking, she's really interested and engaged. She says, I need to talk to my spouse. No problem, I'll follow up tomorrow, see if you have any questions. She says, perfect. So now I've logged this share, I've set the follow-up, and when I log this in Teamzy, notice that there's a follow-up now on her record. If I go to the dashboard, you can see I've got a share logged, okay? And on my follow-ups list, there she is, due tomorrow. I don't know if you can see tomorrow because it's in yellow, but it's due tomorrow. So when it's the day before, it's yellow. And then when it's due, it's red. So it's like due, you get a message. And when it's a couple days, you don't have to worry about it, it's green. All right, so she's due tomorrow. So my power hour tomorrow looks like this. Prospects, customers, distributors, sending those messages out. Then I come to see if I have any follow-ups due. I see I have one due for Stephanie, so I send her a follow-up message. Let me show you how easy this is, by the way, to do. You go to scripts again. Yeah, just so you know, I put them all in scripts. 10 follow-up messages numbered in order for you. So you guys can't mess this up. They're labeled follow-up. Look, here's follow-up 1. It sounds like this. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? Do you see how I made following up something that's a promise to her instead of just me pestering her about something? I want you guys to change the way you think about follow-ups. Okay, so I'm going to copy that one real quick. We're going to send it to her. You do it just like a regular connect. Use the script, change the name. I'm just going to go with Steph. You'll forgive me for that, right? Okay, look, got it right. Good to go. I'm going to send it over here and I'm going to message her this. I'm going to send her my follow-up message. Super easy. Okay. Follow-up message sent. Now, when I log this, before I log it, make sure you set a new follow-up. Keep her on the follow-ups list. Don't let her go back into the Teamzy flow. Keep her on your follow-ups list. So now I'm going to follow up, let's say in 2 days. Okay. So I've set that one now. I can leave myself a note, by the way, if you want a reminder of what you're going to talk about. I'm going to send her follow-up number 2. And then I'm going to log this message. Always set the next follow-up though, okay? So now she's due again on Monday. I'll follow up again on Monday. I don't even have to think about her the rest of the day. Was that easy? Okay. Really quick on this. I just want to talk to you real quick about follow-ups. How many of you have ever heard the fortunes in the follow-up? Yeah, you've heard it, but you're like, ugh. Nobody relishes following up, right? Here's the statistic you need to understand. It takes, on average, for 80% of sales, they occur between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Don's going, yeah, I've heard that, but I don't like doing it. How many of you guys like to follow up 10 times? But seriously, you feel like you're annoying people, right? Most of you? It's okay. You can be honest. Here's the deal. I just want to change. How many of you believe in your product to the point where you believe you can change lives with these products? Okay, great. And same thing with the business plan, like joining the team could be life-changing. I just want you guys to understand that if they don't actually purchase or join the team, you're not going to help them with anything. And 80% of them are going to require you to follow up 7 to 10 times. So here's what I want you guys to get. Following up is the only tool you have that actually helps people. And so if you want to change lives, you have to be committed to following up. This is why my mantra is this. Following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. You need to write that down, keep it in front of you until you believe it, right? Put it on a sticky note. Now you can use those sticky notes you're not using for context anymore. Following up is an act of love. You can put it on the mirror where you brush your teeth every day, so you see it twice a day. Following up is an act of love. Now, there is a way to do it so it's not annoying. There is a way to follow up so people thank you for it. So they're excited for the fact that you followed up 10 times and they think, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're amazing. And they want to bring people to your business because of your follow-up. You guys want to learn how to do it that way? Just real quick, and then we'll do Q&A for those of you guys who have hung with me this long. There's two principles. Now, if you use my follow-up scripts in Teamzy, my scripts already follow these principles. But there's two principles for following up and never being annoying. I learned this process through coaching people for the past 19 years. People pay me $500 for 30 minutes of coaching, and then they don't show up for their appointment. Is that crazy? It happens all the time. And why? Because they're embarrassed. They haven't done any work. They're whatever. Stephanie, as a leader in this business, you know what that's like too, right? People don't show up because they're embarrassed, because they haven't done anything, because they're feeling like whatever. And so I had to figure out how to follow up with them to get them re-engaged again and be loving about it. So I figured these two principles out. Number one, never ask them to do anything in your follow-up. Don't ask them to do anything. They don't need to call you. They don't need to even respond to your message. Even if there's something you want them to do, like complete the order in the cart that they left unattended or to RSVP for your event, don't ask anything of them in your follow-up. Okay, that's the first principle. The second principle is when you're following up, you need to make sure they can read the message without opening it. They need to be able to read your message without opening it. So it needs to be written and short. Okay? Why is this? Because 9 times out of 10, they won't even open your message. But if you craft it this way, they will always see it. Okay, and that's all you want is for them to see your message. It just keeps you on their mind, and it lets them know that you are still right over here caring for them. Does it make sense? Because what happens is, I talk to Dawn, she's excited. And then as soon as we're done talking, she's back in her normal life. Okay? Next day passes, I message her, do you have any questions? How's everything going? And she is like, oh, there's a message from Eric. That's right. I had this great. And then she looks over, the dog's throwing up on the baby. She's got something, she's got to turn the oven off. Everything's happening all at the same time. She puts her phone down and goes back to her business, her life. Each time I message something, she's driving her car. She's doing something. She can't do anything right now. She can't respond right now. So she's not going to even open the message. She doesn't want to look like a jerk. But each time I'm still connecting with her. I'm still reconnecting her to the hope she felt when we talked about things. Does this make sense? And over time, what happens is, how many of you guys have had somebody really interested and you were so excited, and then when you started following up, you got no response, nothing but crickets? If you're not raising your hand, you haven't been doing this long enough. 80% of people will not even respond to the first 6 follow-ups. Not because they don't like you, not because their husband's a jerk, not because they don't have any money, not because the president is Donald Trump, not because whatever. Okay? It's just because that's the way people are. Life is happening. You're important to them, but maybe not top 10. Make sense? So what happens is you follow this process, loving them through it, follow those 2 principles. Just use the scripts in Teamzy. Maybe a couple months go by and you've reached out 6 times. You'll get a response like this. I'm so sorry I haven't responded to your messages. Thank you so much for staying in touch. I really appreciate it. We do need to talk more about this, right? Or you may get thanks so much. I'm sorry I haven't responded. Can you follow up on Friday after I get paid? You'll get messages like that. But what happens is that people will re-engage over time. Does this make sense? This is why this system works so great. You're going to go in, do a power hour. You're going to connect with people, spread some love. Some of those people respond. You have great conversations. Some of those conversations fizzle out. It's okay. They're going to come back up on Teamzy based on their number rank in the future. You have more conversations. They may take longer to warm up. Some of those conversations will be great right now. You'll get to a share, put them on that follow-ups list. You're constantly putting people on that follow-ups list, okay? And warming up your relationships. And then what happens is every single month, a portion of people on the follow-ups list that you're following up with over time close. You've got new recruits, new customers every month. This is how you get to those 21 new customers and 9 recruits over 90-day average. Does that make sense? And you're not sitting here worrying, oh my gosh, Dawn hasn't responded, because you're just working. Hey, I sent her the follow-up, put her on my follow-ups list. I'm not worried about her. She's going to respond when she responds. I'm going to keep going. Make sense? Are you guys with me? And people will be blown away. They're going to be like, you'll be amazed how they introduce you to their friends. This is the most organized person I know. You should see how put together she is. Not that I want Teamzy to have the credit, but none of us are that organized. We need a tool like this. Make sense? Okay. So real quick, I know we need to get to Q&A. I'm going to give you guys some action steps, but that's generally how the Power Hour works in Teams. You get in there and you crush it 5 days a week, and you'll see momentum build in your business. Oh, we already did this slide. Let me get to the action steps. So I'm going to give you guys some action steps real quick. First off, if you're not already using Teamzy, you need to get into the 30-day free trial. Okay. And if you're already in the free trial, set up your subscription. We're doing something really special for Xyngular because we're really taking off with you as a new market. We're giving you guys an opportunity to be founders, Xyngular founders with Teamzy, okay? Which means that if you create your subscription before the end of March, you get a special rate which you can lock in for life, which is $19.95 a month, okay? What is that, 62 cents a day to have all this organized for you. The normal price is $29.99 a month, so it's a third off, and you get to keep that for life, okay? So make sure that you guys get locked in this month, get your subscription set up so you can be founders, and let your teams know that too, because in April, it'll be $30, okay? Which is our normal pricing. Even at $1 a day, it's pretty awesome, but this is all to get your DMO and your plan and everything done. Do you guys think you could, using the system, could create one sale a month? Yeah, so that one sale a month will more than pay for your Teamzy subscription, okay? Plus you get to write it off your taxes, so it comes back to your new tax return. Second action step I wanna give you is to choose a 30-day success partner to do your trial with you. And if you're halfway through the trial, it's fine. Just get somebody and say, let's do this together. Let's hold each other accountable for the next 30 days, okay? What you should do is get on a Zoom together, or if you're close enough, get together in person and say, what are your goals? Here are my goals, right? Your Teamzy goals. And say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Every day, we're going to finish our Teamzy Power Hour and take a screenshot and message it to each other. Okay. So what happens is you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you message it your partner. She messages it to you. It's great. And then Thursday, your day goes sideways. You don't do a thing. And then you get that message. Zoop, partner did hers. You're like, dang it. So you pull out your phone, get on Teamzy, quickly do it so you can send it back to her. The accountability will help you get so much more out of it. Here's what we found. Every single person who actually uses their trial in Teamzy signs up for Teamzy. Why do you think that is? The people who don't use Teamzy during their trial, they sign up for a trial and do nothing with it, have a 5% adoption rate. Just saying. We're really proud of the fact that when people use it, they sign up. It's because the value is there. So I want you guys to do this. Hold each other accountable. This could be the best month of your business. You may not even realize it. And I'm going to give you one more little challenge, and it's a 5-day challenge. I challenge you guys to get in here. Some of you already have your account, but you haven't used it yet. Get in here and work it 5 days in a row and connect with 20 people a day for 5 days, regardless of what your goal is. 100 people in 5 days, send them messages. Why do I want you to do this? Because it's going to like blow your mind. The amount of people who want to talk and respond, I mean, you might be a bit overwhelmed, but I want you to feel that, because here's what I want you guys to understand. Successful people are overwhelmed too. They don't have it all together. It's just that successful people are overwhelmed with opportunities instead of worries. How many would like to trade in your overwhelm for opportunity overwhelm? You can feel that in just 5 days by taking this challenge. So I want you guys to do these. You have all these down? Go after this stuff. You can do it. Okay. So I know there's so many more things that I didn't get to show you because I only had this much time, and I also went off the rails a little bit. That's because I was excited to teach you guys some of these principles. So what I'll do now is we'll open it up for a Q&A. If you guys have questions, you have the ability to unmute yourself just by clicking on the microphone. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask, and I'll hang out and answer some more.
Eric, I have a question for you. Awesome training. So if you have a connect in, so with Xyngular, we were able to get our CSVs and download everything. So it's like, in some cases, thousands of people, right?
Right.
So in order to activate that connect, you have to connect with them, and then the star following or the star rating will kick in for them. Is that correct?
When you put them all in, they came in as 3 stars.
So they'll automatically come up in
They're going to come up. So everybody defaulted to 3 stars when you put them into Teamzy. So everybody's at 3 stars. So they're on a 90-day cycle right now.
Okay.
So what you'll want to do,
Automatic.
is just scan your list and cherry pick your 4 and 5 star people so that you can prioritize them first. Otherwise, it may be months before you get to your best people. Does that make sense?
Right.
So
Right.
that's all you have to do. Since about 90% of your list, guys, will probably be 3 star, your list is 90% ranked for you already by Teamzy. So you just need to go pick out that top 10% of people who trust you the most, the people you like the most, and put them up higher as 4s and 5s.
Okay. And then when you do a follow-up, does that cancel out the star rating, or will it
Yes.
automatically? It does.
When they're on your follow-ups list, they're not cycling through on the other side. They're just on the
Okay, so you
follow-ups
have to
list.
reset that.
It'll reset when you log a connect with them. So if they come up on follow-up and you send them a message, it resets and puts them back in the flow. That's why I was telling you to make sure you set a new follow-up, because if they haven't closed yet, you want to keep them on the follow-ups list. The follow-ups list kind of separates them from the regular flow. The regular flow, you're building conversations and building relationships. The follow-ups list, these people have put their hand up and said, I'm interested, and you're following up with them as a professional now. Does that make sense? So those are the people where now you've got permission to be a pro and talk about Xyngular and talk about health. And so those are the people who you've now moved over relationally, put their hands up, and now they're leads that you're working on a professional basis, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
So from a traditional marketing standpoint, I know some of you guys might have a background in that, some of you don't, and that's okay. That's the follow-ups list is like your pipeline of people who are now leads that are interested in Xyngular at some level. And so those people you're following up with as a pro, and everybody else you're connecting with as a person, building a relationship, building trust, letting them know what you do and what you're passionate about, letting them know that you want to be able to help them or their friends and family who have these problems. I just want to I'll give you guys one example. So my background is real estate coaching. I told you my background wasn't direct sales. I've been working with real estate professionals 19 years, helping them build their business, working with some of the top teams and brokerages in the countries. And when I switched over to health and nutrition, because when I was a Beachbody coach, some of you know my background at one point. I'm not now. I don't do anything except Teamzy, so there's no conflict. I was a Beachbody coach. I was helping people get fit and healthy. And I had somebody who was a real estate broker that I had known for years. And when I was reaching out to him on he'd come up on Teamzy and I'd reach out and say hello to him. He actually unfriended me. And I thought that was an accident. So I messaged him again, right? Sent him a friend request. And he responded and said, sorry, Eric, I actually unfriended you because when you were talking about real estate on social media, it was pertinent to me. But what you're doing now it's not really applicable to my life, and I'm not interested. And so I was furious. How many of you guys would be so offended? This is somebody who I've helped a lot in his business. I was really furious that he unfriended me over that. And then my wife, who's the voice of reason, said, well, what would you tell your client to do if she always tells me that when I'm being unreasonable? And I said, I would tell my client to go ask him who he knows who needs it then. So I did. I went back and I messaged him and I said, hey, I totally understand. No worries, no hard feelings. But I'm really passionate about helping people get healthy. Is there anybody you know who could use some help in this area that you could connect me to? Maybe I could get them some information. He can introduce me to 2 people. He introduced me to 2 people who became customers who I helped. And through the process of helping his friends, guess what? A little while later, he sent me a friend request again. But the point is, you guys, is that you can't be afraid to share your blessing with other people. Does that make sense? You got to think of it that way, that you want to connect with people because you have blessing to share, not because you want to, not everybody's ready to hear it either. Just because you see somebody living an unhealthy lifestyle doesn't mean they're the perfect candidate for you to tell them all about Xyngular. They may not be open to it. First thing you got to do is say hello. How many of you guys have ever dated or are in a relationship? Can you imagine walking up to imagine if your significant other came up to you the first time they saw you and said, you could really use me. I could really help you have a good life. Would you like to get married? you'd be like, get out of here, right? You have to start with the hi, how are you? And build the relationship. If that makes sense. Okay. Does anyone else have questions?
I have a question. I just joined for the free trial, and I'm a little bit technologically challenged.
Okay.
Okay. I went in to start putting, I don't know how much detail Teamzy is how much detail is Teamzy gonna have when I put my people in? What all do I need to put in? I don't know how to get it in there. Do I put it on? I started an Excel thing. I downloaded all my people into Excel because I'm not that old in this business, so I could put them all in there. I've put names in, and I've got that, started putting in their phone number and stuff like that. But what else do I need?
It just depends. You don't need anything. I mean, if you're Facebook, like most of my contacts are Facebook friends, which means all I have is their name, but I can use Facebook to connect with them, right? So whatever information you have, you can put in Teamzy, and over time you build out more information. If you have people's phone numbers, you can put it in. It's great. I mean, I think I like to use Facebook Messenger because it gets a really, really high response rate. My next best way of communicating would be via text, but that's usually with closer relationships that you'd send a text message to. So whatever information you have, you may have customers that from your Xyngular back office, all you have is an email address, right? And so you put the best information you can, Jerry, into Teamzy, and don't sweat it. The most important thing is to get started. If you just get started with names and you could just quickly send them a Facebook message, great. You're making contact and connecting with people. And if you run into trouble importing your contacts, you just need to click the help button that floats around the bottom right of Teamzy and say, I need help. And my team will help you do it.
I'm sorry. When I tried to save the Excel, it didn't want to save as a CSV. It didn't want to keep the format. With the columns all went back narrow. So I didn't know if that I was doing something wrong or if I should make a different format.
Yeah, well, the column width doesn't matter to the computer because the computer reads the data differently anyways. But if you have trouble importing that sheet, you can just click that help button in Teamzy and attach the sheet and say, I'm having trouble importing this data. My team will just put it in your account for you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
That'll be easier probably.
Yeah.
There may be sometimes there's one little thing messing with it. Things like, I'm not a techie person either, just so you know. This is why I can talk to you about this. I'm not a techie person. This is why I have people who understand this. And I'm like, I just want a button. Can I just push a button that does this for me, please? But I've learned over the years, things like somebody will have, Eric and Lisa Johnson in their thing, and they use the ampersand sign. And then the computer's like, what is this sign? And it says the whole document is weird, So over the years, we've had to program Teamzy to go, don't freak out over the ampersand sign. Just ignore it, little things like that. As they've come up, it's like, what's causing this error? So computers are funny like that, but it may be something simple like that my team will see your sheet and go, oh, fixed, it's in. Jerry, don't worry. You'll get an email that says, Jerry, it's in Teamzy. Go start connecting with people.
Thank you so much.
Sure thing.
Hi, my name's Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi, Eric. I've enjoyed your training. Thank you. I've watched you a few different times on YouTube. I wanted to know, have you ever been asked to take out in all of your messages, hi, so-and-so, and just had it be the message?
Okay, so I feel strongly you should always say hello to somebody with their first name.
Oh, me too. It's less time to type hi so-and-so than to delete it and then type it again. I just wondered if you had ever taken that out. I would always say hello.
So here's the thing that I'll tell you is right now, people have been doing like the hey sweetie and hey girl and hey babe messages because it's quicker, but they come across as generic. They come across as, remember this? And in fact, we actually have, some of you may have seen the Teamzy ad that runs on Instagram that says, hey girl, and it has one of those messages and it says there's a better way. It's like making fun of it. That's the ad that has had the most comments and likes of anything we've ever run, because people relate to kind of the way people have been approaching social direct sales over the last 5 years with this kind of like, hey girl, generic message. So always personalize it with their name so they know it's specifically for you. There's no tool to do that. They know that you had to type their name, right? So they know that it came from you. Always personalize it. Take a minute to put some emojis on there so it's personalized. And the other reason why is if let's say you're doing 19 connects with the same script in Teamzy, if you do them exactly the same, Facebook may think that you're doing something funny and lock you out of your account for a day. So by changing that name, you've created a unique message that you're sending, which also helps you with that, if that makes sense, Laura. So it's only, we're talking about seconds to personalize it, but I believe it's an important thing to keep that personalization in there.
Can I just comment on that?
Yeah.
I think, Laura, for a lot of us, it's common sense to us, but it's not common sense to so many people. So that's why I would guess that Eric, they've decided, let's keep that in there because everybody kind of has to be spoon-fed. It's not common sense to a lot of people to address it that way. But I'm a California girl and I'm like, hey, gorgeous, hey, beautiful. I am not into scripts, but that's me. So, I guess I need to change. I just learned something new.
Well, here's the thing though. If it's a close friend that knows that that's how you're going to address them, then it's fine, if that makes sense. But as you start drilling down into your list and you've never messaged somebody before, which is going to happen quick. By the way, you guys using Teamzy, in your first 30 days, you're going to get on to people you've never messaged. And that's when it's important to address them by name so they know that it's not, because it's out of the blue. They've never heard from you. Does that make sense? So, like you're working your team. Yeah, totally. Like they know it's from you. They know it's you, and you're going to get people who, when you get into those 3-star people, that's when you don't really know how they're going to respond. And I had people respond with, is this really you, or did your Facebook get hacked? Because you've never messaged me before. It's like, ha ha ha, and LOL, no, it's really me. I saw you across my Facebook feed, thought it's weird that I've never messaged you, thought I'd say hi, oh, okay, great. Now we're having a conversation. I've had people respond with, do I know you? And I said, honestly, I wondered the same thing, which is why I messaged you. We've been Facebook friends for 5 years. And so I figured I'd say hi, So I've had things like that happen where it's great because now you've had a chance to have an authentic relationship. And in the situation where I had the person say, how do I know you? They actually became my customer, which was crazy because when they got my message, the first thing they did was they went and looked at my Facebook page. They started looking at what I was doing. And then meanwhile, we're messaging back and forth. And I'm like, are you a real estate agent? She says, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. I go, that must be how we know each other. I've been in the industry 19 years. She's like, no way. I don't know you that way. So we went back and forth a bunch of times. Then she's like, well, what's this other thing you're doing? And I got to tell her what I do and why I'm passionate about it. And she laughed, ha ha ha, I need help with that. I said, well, jokes aside, that's what I do. Do you really want some help? Let's talk more. So like those conversations can happen, but when you get into those colder people, they're colder, so they take more time. So my analogy is like, just give you guys this analogy. You can't see it, but I can see it right outside my window here. I live in San Diego, North San Diego County. I've got an orchard of citrus trees right here, like a little one. Just don't think I'm on a big farm, but there's like 12 trees right here, right? Little orchard of trees. And some of them are full of fruit and some of them don't have fruit. Are you guys with me? And your relationships are like this. Your 5-star people are like the trees full of fruit. You're going to go to them more often. You're going to connect with them more often because the fruit is there hanging on the low branches. The 4-star people have like the green fruit, right? So you're going to want to tend to those because you feel like soon they might bear fruit for you. And then the 3-star people are like the trees that just have buds on them. And they may have a ripe piece of fruit hidden in the branches here and there. You don't know. But what you want to do is spend a little bit of time just kind of watering and fertilizing those relationships as you develop those relationships out so they become like a tree full of fruit. So you don't want to spend all your time just going to the trees with no fruit and talking to them and going, I'm not getting any results, which is why, Steph, I told you I want you to go through your list and cherry pick your 5s and 4s right away so you can talk to them first. But also when you're reaching out to those relationships, they're colder. So they may not just be like, well, let's have a conversation and I want to be your customer. It may just be like, oh, okay, well, you messaged me. Great. Nice to hear from you. And then it fizzles out. But next time when you message them again, they're a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer and a little bit warmer. Does that make sense? And one day I'm going to walk up there and that tree is going to be full of fruit. Because remember, the people represent relationships, don't just represent one customer. They represent their entire sphere, right? You guys with me? Okay. I forgot the question. I went off on one of my tangents again, but did I answer it? Hopefully. Who else has one? And then I know we got to send you guys off soon.
Eric, I got a couple of quick ones, and this is Dawn. Is there a way to delete tags? Like I accidentally typed something in and hit tag. Is there a way to get those out of there?
Yeah, let me show you real quick.
Not that that's okay.
And I didn't even talk about tags on this call, but go to your team page. And over here, you'll see tags, right?
Right.
So let's say you wanted to delete the flex tag. I have some examples here for you guys. I always would tag people's products for sure when they bought something, so that every time I click on it, I could see everybody, let's say, who bought an ultimate. So as soon as you click on any one of these tags on the left you'll see this tag options showed up, and now you can delete the whole tag. Easy,
okay,
right?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yep.
So
okay.
I think that might not show up on the mobile phone though. You might have to be on your computer to delete the tag. But so let me just show you guys real quick what I would do if my talk with Steph turned out she purchased, how I would do it in Teamzy. I didn't do that, so let me show you. I would go to her record and I would click on sale. Okay. And then I would click, what did she get? Did she get an ultimate? Did she get other, whatever, right? So let's say she came in with the ultimate, and then I would also tag that one. I would also tag that product on there, and then I save that. So now Teamzy knows that we got a sale. Now the question is, does she become a customer or a distributor? If she became a customer, I would just click on customer. Now she's going to be in my list as a customer. If she became a distributor, I'd click on that and then personally sponsored. So now she's on the right list for Teamzy. But what happened by tagging the product, I can now she's added to a list where if I click on that tag, it's everybody in my list that's ever bought that product, which is really useful when there's sales, when there's special things coming up or whatever, to know, okay, well, here's everybody who got the trimmed down trio so far on my list, so that I know. And then also over time, I may see on somebody's thing all the different products they used. You know what I mean? And so it's just good information to have. Now you can use tags for anything though. Let's say I have an event coming up that I'm inviting people to. I tag everybody that I sent an invitation to, so that I have an invite list that I can click on and connect people to. Does that make sense? Things like that. So I would have people who I invited in the past that didn't come to an event. I would have them as a special tag. I could pull them up. I would tag everybody that's local to me, so that if I wanted to do a meetup locally, I could invite all the local people. So tags is just a way you can create lists easily and quickly in Teamzy, if that helps for you guys. All right, let's do one more question. If there's one more, and then I'll bless you guys and send you on your way.
I have a couple. Hi, Eric.
Okay, we'll let it go.
Can you hear me?
I hear
Sorry.
you. Go ahead, Cindy. Go ahead.
Calling from East Tennessee here. 2 questions, one for me and one for Tammy Dennis. She's on our chat, and
okay.
And her internet messed up. So my question is, does it work on the iPad?
Yes.
And okay.
But let me show you. So look, do you have a regular size iPad or is it a mini iPad?
It's you had to ask me that. It's a mini. It's a smaller.
Okay. So what Teamzy does is it will automatically change the way the website works based on the size of the screen you're using. So if I'm on a mobile phone, got my iPhone right here. If I'm on the mobile phone, let me share this with you. It's going to switch over to the mobile version of Teamzy because it sees it as a small screen. Let me just share my screen. I'll show you how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save Teamzy. Here it is. It's coming up. So there's my mobile phone. Okay. You can see I've saved the Teamzy login page to my dashboard. It's right in the center there. I'm just going to open that up. Okay. So let me just log this in. You're going to press this little remember me button to stay logged in. See that little remember me button? Okay. So here's Teamzy on mobile, right? So you can see it's a little bit different. So if you go to Teamzy in Safari on your iPad, because it's a mini, you may end up seeing this view. Okay. If you have a regular sized iPad, you're going to see the desktop view that we were just demonstrating because it's a larger screen. If you guys are on a laptop and you sometimes shrink your screen to like a smaller window, it's going to think it's a mobile phone and change it. All you have to do is just expand that window and you'll get back to the desktop version. Does that make sense? But this mobile version is really cool because I can do everything here. I can connect with somebody. I can get my scripts. I can pick a script up. I can copy my script, and then I can toggle my apps. So if this is an email script. So if I toggled my app to my email, I could send the email. I could toggle my app to my Messenger or to my text, and I can do everything from my phone. Pretty cool, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Sure thing. And you had another one, right? Another question?
I did. This is from Tammy Dennis.
Okay.
And her question is, do we put in our downline follow-ups in as well? Thinking about the not so active people that I stay in contact with, their three-way chat people or downline who don't have Teamzy.
Okay, so here's how I would answer that for myself is where you don't have a strong leader serving those people, you should be the leader. So does that make sense? So if I have a strong leader on a leg and that's their team, then I'm just going to want to make sure that strong leader is using Teamzy and staying in touch with them. But this happens a lot where you've got people 2 or 3 levels down and there's no strong leader between you and them. Then you should adopt all those lambs in Teamzy and stay in touch and help them. Does that make sense? So the other exception would be people that you really like and you want to stay in touch with. I know in my business, I placed people sometimes in the next level down. So they were still kind of like mine, right? So I don't know, do you guys do that? I don't know if you do that, but so those would be examples of where I would keep them. If you're newer and you've got like 20 people on your whole team, you might stay in touch with everybody on your whole team. That's fine. But as your team grows, you won't be able to sustain that. And so as your team gets large, what I recommend you do, and you guys should need to know this, right? Because how many of you guys want to build a large team? As the team gets large, you use Teamzy to stay in touch with all your personally sponsored people and all the leaders on your team. Does that make sense? So all your first level people and all your leaders are the people that you'll be in contact with. Because I've got folks, using Teamzy with 60, 70,000 people on their team, and they can't stay in touch with all the levels, right? But when they have an emerging leader that might be a lot of levels deep, they'll put that person in Teamzy and build a relationship with them and mentor them. So hopefully that helped. Let her know, sorry that she had to drop off. Hopefully that was really good. Obviously I could do more. I do want you guys to know that in 10 days on the 25th, I'm doing a masterclass for Xyngular. It's going to be a similar presentation to the one you guys got special as a team today, but it'll be another chance to ask questions and let teammates know that I am doing that. You guys will start getting email promotion for that next weekend. But I want to make sure that we invest some time with you guys because the community is just on fire with Teamzy right now. I want to meet you guys where you're at with your enthusiasm, get you the support you need. Obviously, we have a heart to help you guys. I want you guys to know, I want you to be successful. When you're successful, I'm successful, right? So that's why I want to make sure you guys get great results. Also, that makes you a walking, talking billboard for my business. So I hope there was a lot of value for you today with this training. We gave you a little bit more than the software too. But I just want to say thank you again for inviting me. I'm glad I got to be here, and God bless you guys. And thanks again for having me.
Thank you. God bless you. You're an angel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming on, and will we get the replay?
Yep, I'll send it to you later today.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Have a beautiful day. Hope
You
it's
too.
sunny down there.
Take
Thank
care.
you all.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks.